Hey, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TCL-31. Yeah, very exciting. I'm very excited to be here. So Eddie, do you want to take it away?
Yes. So hey everybody, welcome to the first weekly sync. So I guess we could get started off with introductions. I'll start off. My name is Eddie. I'm one of the mentors. This is my third or fourth cohort I participated in. Currently, I'm leading a team of developers down in Miami, Florida. And that's pretty much it. Mike, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'd love to. So my name is Mike Lambert. I'm also a mentor here at the Collab Lab. And I am a front-end developer at Zapier. And I am super duper excited to be here. This will be the third cohort that I've been involved in. And everything has been wonderful up until now, and I'm sure y'all are going to be wonderful as well. So very, very, very excited to meet everyone. And I'm going to hand it off now to Andrea.
I was wrapped up in listening, so now I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say. Just my name and kind of a little bit about me.
Sure, yeah.
I am Andrea Martz. I'm a participant in TCL-31. I just finished a boot camp, Springboard Software Engineering boot camp, and starting the job search, and I'm doing Hacktoberfest this month and Collab Lab, so it's going to be a busy month for sure. 2 months probably. And then I just choose someone to pass it to. Is that how this works?
Yeah,
okay.
Do it.
Let's go to Victoria.
Hi, I'm a boot camper in the sense I did a couple of those Udemy boot camps, but that's about it. I'm excited to be here. I've never coded like pair programs or coded on a team before, so I'm very, very excited for that. And yeah, that's about it. And I will pass it to Gabby.
Hi, I'm Gabriela. I'm from Venezuela. I am more experienced for backend, Ruby on Rails, but 3 years ago, more or less, I create app in React, but with a mentor, no, with a mentor, as he helped me a lot. But I know a little the React, not too much, but a little. I hope that. I am very excited to stay here with you, and I hope to learn more about work with co-worker, because I have a work in a small startup and only me is the employee there. Can imagine that. Yeah, that is, can I say, I don't know more. Maybe let's go to Aidan. Aidan is good the pronunciation of your name? I don't know.
It's Aiden.
Aidan. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, so I'm Aiden. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I currently work at Wells Fargo as an operations analyst, but I'm trying to get into software engineering. So I've been learning as much as possible, and yeah, just building projects and just trying to collaborate as much with people. So yeah, I will pass it to Shajia.
Hi, my name is Shajia. I am the first-time mentor here. I was a participant in TCL 8, so it was a really long time ago. And that was the first time I did pair programming in my career. So Victoria, we're gonna have a lot of pair programming here, which is really great. And that is it, I guess. Welcome everybody, and I'm gonna pass it to Andrew.
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Andrew. I met most of you or maybe all of you on the orientation calls, but yeah, I'm located in Portland, Oregon, and founder of Collab Lab. And I work, my day job is to be an engineering manager at Zapier, where I work with Stacy and Mike. And yeah, I'm excited for y'all. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, I've been a web developer for a long time, like 23 years or something. So been around the industry, been worked in a bunch of different settings. So anyway, eager to help you all kind of get your start. Stacy.
Hi, I'm Stacy. I met most of you as well on the same calls. Co-founder of Collab Lab. For this team specifically, I'm your code of conduct responder, and I talked about that in the orientation calls. But basically, I'm just here for you for whatever you need. In a couple of weeks, I'll be scheduling one-on-ones with you, just so that you have space to say anything that you might need to say. So be expecting me to reach out with that, but also if you ever need anything or just want to talk, I'm totally here for you. Let's see. Oh, my day job, I'm a front-end engineer at Zapier. I also am a bootcamp grad and somebody who comes from a wide range of previous careers, so a career switcher. So I'm really passionate about seeing all of you get your footholds in tech. So here to help you. Okay. Eddie went, Gabby went. Who? I think that's it. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's everyone.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yay.
Yay. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm excited that the like we have a really cool group of mentors here. The Shijia having been gone through the program, and Eddie is a very experienced developer, and you know we're yeah, everyone's super excited to have y'all. And with that, let's jump straight into some technical things, and generally what is one of the scariest concepts for me personally, and for a lot of people about Git. And today we're going to have a really just a quick overview of Git. And yeah, sound good, everyone? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let me find the right screen. There we go. Can everyone see my screen? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Awesome.
Yep.
I asked that question without being able to see anyone's video, so not bad. And then presenting. All right. Cool. So we're going to talk about Git and some of the basics that we just need here at the Collab Lab. So how does everyone feel about Git? Like, thumbs up, thumbs down, scary? Yeah. I'm kind of, I think I'm with Stacy in that, like, thumbs up, thumbs down. And even it's been funny for when we talk about these presentations with mentors ahead of time, like who's going to do what. Git is always the one that's like, I don't know, I'm kind of scared of it, because even experienced developers feel not always 100% confident with Git. But luckily, there's really just a few things that you really need in order to be able to survive. And so what we're going to talk about are just, first of all, how you create and switch branches. And this is stuff that you may know already, or it may be review. And we're going to talk about staging changes, saving changes in history with Git commit, sending changes to GitHub with Git push, getting your latest changes back from GitHub, and getting your changes into main with pull requests, also known as PRs. So some basic Git terms. So we've got a repository, or also called a repo, and this is a collection of files under source control, like Git. Remote, which is the origin repo somewhere online, could be with GitHub, Bamboo, GitLab, but we're going to be using GitHub, and this is where all of the code is kept remotely. A branch is a working copy of the repo, and the main branch is the one that we're all going to be kind of merging back into, and this is the ultimate source of truth. A commit is a set of changes to the repo, and when we talk about the head, that's referring to the last commit. And a pull request or a PR documents how or why the changes went in, and it's, with GitHub we call it a pull request. With GitLab it's called a merge request, but generally I think in the industry pull request is like the main thing you'd hear about. So here we've got a fancy diagram, right? And we've got these two branches, right? And we can think about that. Oh, hang on. So we can think about when you create a feature, you're going to branch off and do some things, right? You're going to go here. We've added a button. This is like in main branch, and then we branch off, and we're going to add some styles, add some tests, and then along the main branch here, something else may have happened, right? Gone and updated text. And then we need to get our changes that we're adding the styles and adding the tests back into the main branch. And Git is this magical system that kind of would allow us to do this. And this is generally the flow or the process that you'll see. You create a branch, make your changes, and then merge them back in. Pretty simple. Right? And so to do this, we need some commands. First one would be, how do we create that branch or move between branches? And so for creating the branch, you would do git checkout and a -b, and then you would give it a name. So here we have git checkout -b new feature. And so what is the branch called? Anyone?
New feature.
Exactly, new feature. Yeah. And if we wanted to switch to that one, we do git checkout new feature to switch to it. Or if we had another existing branch, we would do git checkout, then the name of that branch. And there's a little pro tip here. If you just do git checkout dash, that'll allow you to switch to the previous one. When I found that one out, I was like mind blown, because you can just go back and forth between branches. Git checkout dash is a nice little shortcut. All right, so this is the whole concept of like staging changes was something that took me a little while to wrap my head around. And you can kind of think that there are a few different buckets, I guess. Like you have your files that have changed, but you need to tell Git which ones you want to actually commit, and you can associate a message with. And in order to do that, you would you'd want to stage those, get them ready, and add a message. And so for that, we would do git add. And so if you made a change to, say, a single file, button.js, you go git add button.js, and that would just add that one. Or you can do git add -a or git add dot, and those would take all of the files that were changed and get them ready, like in the staging area, ready to be committed. And so you've got your changes, and they're all added to the staging area. And so then you want to add a message. And for that, you would do git commit -m and then do a message. And then they would be committed in the Git history. And you can add a do it all together. The Git -am is add and commit, I believe, right? Yes.
The M is for adding the commit message.
Yeah, the M is for adding, and the -a is, sorry, M is for the message, and -a is for adding, right? Yep. So you can do them all together. And oh, yeah. So yeah, and then sorry, if there are no options, then an editor, a Vim editor, usually will open up so you can go ahead and write a message. And then once you have this committed, that'll be on your local machine, and you need to go ahead and add those to the upstream remote, which in our case is in GitHub, right? And so for that, you would push. And for what I usually do, even if I know that the branch doesn't exist, I do the git push, and then it'll give you this little command, say, whoa, that one doesn't exist up there. And so I usually just copy paste this in there, or adding the -u will go ahead and add the upstream branch for you in the remote. And then if we want to get changes back, we would use git pull. And so oftentimes, changes may have happened. Changes may have happened while you were making your changes. Somebody else pushed to a remote and then merged everything into main. And you need to go and get those changes back on your local machine. So for that, you would do git checkout main, and then you would pull them down, right? And it's always a really, really, really good habit to make sure that you have the latest changes from main before you create a new branch, so that you make sure that you're operating off the latest and greatest. And so when you go to put your changes back into main, we do that via a pull request. And we'll talk a little, we'll have some stuff on pull requests a bit later. But this is something that you'll also will be getting used to very, very quickly. Has anyone done pull requests before, or have any experience with them? I know that when I started off, I definitely did not. So I saw a few hands, but this creating pull requests and the communication that goes into this is exactly why we're here, to learn those kinds of things. And those are the kinds of things that are immensely important. But usually when you're doing your technical training, they're not the things that are focused on. So our goal really is, when you start out at a job or are interviewing and things like that, for you to get really, really comfortable with this process that otherwise may not have a ton of opportunity for. And the pull requests that I see coming out of the Collab Lab are honestly some of the better than you'll probably see in most situations. So that it's very good learning experience, in my opinion. So merge conflicts are probably the scariest thing to happen when you're dealing with Git, because this is essentially when Git is saying, hey, you know what, I'm trying to do everything, but I don't really know the answer here, so I'm going to need your input. as to what do you want and what don't you want. And so we need to tell Git at this point, what are the changes that we want and what aren't. And for this, communication is the absolute key. And again, these are the kinds of things where collaboration and communication come in extremely handy and are I guess saving grace. So if you're ever unsure when merging changes, it's always best to be loud and communicate and just ask questions and say, hey, I don't know, do we need this? Or jump on a call and maybe work through some of them. And so we have this, there's a guide, and we can share these, the presentation with you afterwards. The guide does refer a little bit to rebasing, which we don't really have to worry about too much, but you can Google some of it in if you don't understand. And also the mentors here, we're always here to help out, and more than happy to answer any questions or work through issues. And maybe we may not know the answer to questions, and so we can just learn with you, which happens a lot. So again, we'll share this presentation and have some links to some general tutorials. And Google is always a great source. And often what we do are we're professional Googlers as developers, and so never feel bad Googling things, and checking out Stack Overflow. That's also a good source. So yeah, that is our Git presentation. Thank you all very much. Going to unshare. How do I unshare? Oh, stop share. Cool. Awesome. Any questions or comments or concerns or anything? Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Nice.
And yeah, so now we are we're going to, I guess, jump straight into the issues for this upcoming week in our project. Do we have any? Let's see. We lost Victoria, fortunately, but we can. This is being recorded, and we can always catch her up and everything. So yeah. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be building an application, right? And do y'all know what the application is generally? Here's Victoria. Yeah. Cool. Anyone have any general ideas about what the application is? Like, what's the end goal? I see Gabby.
Yeah,
nodding.
it's a list it's a list for buy for some food. When you are go to the supermarket, you need a list. It's like that. It's a list. You need to check every you need in a list and put there. Basically, I understand what is.
Yeah, I think that's totally right. It's a smart shopping list, and it'll have some smart behavior built into it as well. And in order to create this, we need to break up the work into smaller pieces. And as developers, we deal with these small pieces, and we have to just take off one bite at a time. And so over the next week, we're going to be working on some of these smaller chunks. And so Eddie is going to go over what are the smaller chunks that we have. And one really, really important thing is, if there's anything that you don't understand, ask a lot of questions around those. And it's very, 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 very normal. Pretty much everyday occurrence that you don't understand what what's being asked of you. And so asking more questions, the better. Yeah, so Eddie, you want to take it away with issues?
Yeah. So we'll start off with the first pass or the first issue for this week, which is as a component, I want to be able to read from and write to the Firestore database so that users can persist information.
Wait, hang on one second. You're having, you're not able to share right now. Is that right?
Right. Oh yeah, I'm not able to share. Sorry.
Okay. Let me go and pull up the issues, and then I can share. And if anyone has it handy and can send me the link, that'll maybe speed things along.
I just sent it in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Cool. Sharing. Awesome. Okay, Eddie, back to you.
Okay. So that first issue is as a component, I want to be able to read and write to the Firestore database so that users can persist information. And this is one of two stories or tasks. So the first part of this task, we have the AC, which is the acceptance criteria. Is everybody familiar with acceptance criteria?
So can you tell us what is acceptance criteria?
So I see it, I mean, I guess there's many ways to describe it, but at least when I look at it, it's just the minimum, I guess, test or options or tasks you need to complete this ticket. So if you had a QA team or if you had a project management team, these are the minimum things you're looking for this ticket to pass. And then the first acceptance criteria would be adding the Firebase and React Firebase as a dependency to the project. The second criteria would be being able to make a change in the Firestore database and it display in the application. And then the third criteria would be being able to make a change in the app and it show up in the Firestore database. Does anybody have any questions?
So it sounds like we need to install, if that's the right term, Firebase. We need to make sure okay, back up. So currently Firebase is not enabled in the app and we need to make sure that we set that up and React Firebase hooks.
Correct.
That's part of it. Okay. In addition to the others, I see the other bullet points too. Yeah.
And then the second part and third part is making sure it's connected. So the front end reads from that database and then you're able to write from the front end to that database as well. And you can keep it pretty simple. You don't have to do too much there. Maybe just adding, I think a simple kind of like button that, I don't know, probably sends a message to the database or adds a text, I don't know, an okay. And then that okay is displayed back, in a div inside the app. And that's basically all you need to do.
Yeah, and definitely, look at these notes are very, very helpful. But you can just, like he said, just a throwaway stuff and show that you can make a write and read it. And also, Andrea, that was exactly the correct term. Was you would install the dependencies. Yeah.
And then under the notes on this ticket, there's if you need kind of more direction on like the Firebase hooks, they added a reference to a commit or a push that was done before on one of the demos, and they added a Loom video so you can kind of reference that as well if you need any help, or you could just ping one of the mentors on the channel, and then we'll be able to jump in and help if you have any questions or need any guidance.
Cool.
And then I already assigned the teams for this task. So it would be Andrea and Victoria. This task is for y'all.
Cool.
All right, and now we'll move on to story number 2. And that one is, as a user, I want to be able to navigate between the list view and the add an item view so that the interface is clearly delineated between viewing and adding. So now we'll go into acceptance criteria. And this one is, the first criteria is adding the React router DOM as a project dependency. Then adding links are present and persistent at the bottom of the page, one for the list view and the other for the add item view. When one link or when one button or link is clicked, the browser URL updates to the current view and it matches the component displayed. And then vice versa as well. So if you're clicking on the add item view, the URL should reference some type of add item, I don't know, whatever you want to name it. And then maybe, I don't know, on that view, you could display a header that says add item. And then when you click on the secondary link, which would be the list view, the URL should reference something in regards to list view. And then maybe the header could say like list view as well. And I guess you could bold the text or you could do whatever you need to make sure you're able to show that criteria. You don't have to go too crazy into the CSS or you know, picking up any CSS frameworks or libraries. You know, keeping the buttons down at the bottom of the page in a fixed position or something like that would work. Something simple. Or if you wanted to kind of try kind of like, I don't know, a flex box view or a grid view, you could go ahead and try that, but try to keep it pretty simple because a lot of the CSS stuff comes towards the end of the project. Any questions?
Not yet.
Nice. And for this one, Gabby and Aiden will be tackling this task.
All right.
And for both of these, and just in general in your life as developers, one of the most important and most difficult things is to work within scope, which means you have the acceptance criteria that's right here, and focusing just on that acceptance criteria. And Eddie mentioned like it may be really tempting to go and build the entire app right now, but that's not what we want to do. We want to just look at that acceptance criteria and just do that. You know, and on these, we should also, our goal is we don't want to spend more than 5 hours for the week. So if you're finding yourself working too much on any task or anything like that, please be sure to let us know, because we don't want, this is not a full-time job for you, and so it, you know, it shouldn't feel like that. And so if you find yourself like working a whole lot, we can talk to us and we'll figure out what we can do to alleviate that. So yeah, I'm super excited. Questions about these? Yeah.
If I could jump in and say something. I think it would, I remember when I was a participant, the mentors showed me the website, the actual website, which helped us visualize what our task was to do. So let me, if we could just go to this website, and you know, I can share the screen actually.
Yeah, great idea.
I remember because I learn visually, so it really helps me if I have a visual in front of me. It might not work for everybody, but it definitely worked for me. So I'm just gonna share. Okay, I cannot share the screen.
Jeez.
That's fine. I sent a link in the description if Mike, you want to share it.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I'll share it. Hang on one second.
So I just clicked to try to join a shopping list, and I have to enter a code. Do you have a code just so we can kind of see a list without having to create one?
I think you can still, because I just created one without a code.
Oh,
It should. If you refresh the page, maybe. But so basically this is like a whole completed website. So you're not going to have this the first week. This is the end of the 8 weeks. So this is something like this will be the end product of this entire cohort, right? So one of the tasks is to connect it to the database mainly and make sure that you can add it from this website. And once you add it, you can see it on the front end. And the second task is that you should be able to have 2 views, right? So this is the list view, and this one is the add view. So if you see, if you click the add view, in the URL, you see it says /add. So, and in the list view, it doesn't say, if you click on the list view, Mike, yeah, it doesn't say, but I think one of the, let me double check the, yeah, I think it should say it should say list in the URL. One of the users click browser URL updates, yes. So that's something that you would have to update. It doesn't do that in this particular website, but that's what the 2 views are that we're talking about. Again, the stylings is completely up to you. My cohorts website did not look like this. It was a completely different visually, but the reason that we're showing you right now is to just know that what the functionality looks like. So the stylings, we are going to do the stylings towards the end of the cohort, I believe. So styling, don't worry about the stylings if it does not look pretty. That's completely okay. And then when you add it, right here, if you add name of an item and you click add it, if you could just add whatever and then try adding it. So this adds it, and if you go to the list view, it updates. So this is what the other thing is, right? That you add it goes to the database because you've already connected it to the database. And once you go to the list page, it retrieves that information from the database. So that is what this is doing. I think those are the 2 main things that we have to do. Again, this application is doing a lot of other things. It's giving you a message that it has been successfully added and everything else, but that's beyond this week's work. So we just have to make sure that the React, the database is set, and also that you have 2 views to be able to see that, if that makes sense. If anybody has any questions.
Well, just one thing for this, it's just make sure that we can write to the database like something, anything, and then that thing that you wrote comes back. And so we don't really, for right now, don't. Yeah, that's all that we have. Yeah. But questions on this? Sorry.
I'm currently right now, I'm just reading both issues because I'm on issue number 1 and I'm trying to figure out if that needs to be done. It looks like it might before issue number 2 can even happen.
Wonderful line of thinking is how do right? How do these interact? How do the teams, like, are there dependencies between one team and the other? And so that's definitely the kind of thing to be thinking about. Yeah. So on on these ones, I think that there's, this one is writing to the database, right? And the other one is setting up the routing between the two. And there will be definitely some areas of overlap in the code that you're touching. And you'll probably have to coordinate between teams in terms of like, how is your application structured? Where are the files? And things like that. But in terms of their like one being needed in order for the other to work, they're relatively independent. So there's going to be communication required, but not dependency between the teams.
All right.
Yeah. And one thing, encourage you to be as loud and vocal and over communicate whenever possible in Slack. So even if you're like, I feel like everyone already knows this or blah blah blah, just write the message. And also in terms of asking questions, and this is something really difficult to do, but we really encourage everyone to try to learn in public, which means asking questions, try to do it in the main thread, because if you have a question, the odds are that everybody has or another person has that question. And I know for me, I personally struggle with it a lot in terms of asking a question and thinking, oh geez, everyone's going to think I'm an idiot for asking this. And so part of me just wants to go to one person that I feel the most comfortable with, and just ask them directly, but would really encourage you to go and just ask the question to the group. And don't be afraid of feeling like that you'd be looking dumb or anything like that, because I assure you, you don't, and it'll be better for everyone. And then in the future, we can go back and look at those questions because we're in Slack and all those questions are documented. So it's really valuable that you ask the question in public. Yeah. So I think the last thing that we'll want to do is, while we're all here, we know our groups and who they're, who's assigned. And so if we can try to create some branches while we're here, just so that, because Git and creating branches is something that is tough and sometimes we can get stuck on. So I'd like to just be able to troubleshoot that all while we're here together. Does that sound okay? I know, Andrea, are you the one who your laptop's in the shop?
It's not in there yet, but tomorrow at 4:30.
Okay, it will be.
Yeah.
Okay. So totally cool if you can't do it or anything like that. But does everyone have the repo cloned and everything like that? Yeah. Does anyone want to volunteer to share their screen and create a branch? Yes. Yeah.
We can help walk you through it too. You're not just have to like show us how to create a branch. So if you just want to share your screen, we can all, talk through the commands and stuff. It's not a test, I promise. And then whoever shares their screen to create the branch, let's pick somebody else on the other team too, if possible, to create the branch at the same time. So you can be going through the motions too. We can get both branches created. And then the other people on the pair can pull them down.
Yeah.
Any volunteers?
I guess I could do it, but yes,
Awesome.
please walk me through it. Please walk me
Yeah,
through it.
of course.
Okay. All right, so let me see. It's been a while. Share screen, this big green button. Hey, can you see my screen? My WhatsApp to my dad asking how my daughter is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so in the shopping list on I see already there are 3 branches. So we're gonna make I'm gonna go here.
Nice.
Cool. So what you'll want to do, oh, I think you're saying something, but we can't hear you. Say it again.
Oh, no, go ahead. Tell me what to do.
Yeah, so just pull up your terminal. Awesome. And it looks like you're already in the project, which is perfect. I would do a git pull just to make sure that you have everything that's on main. Anytime you're going to create a new branch, it's the best practice to make sure that your project locally is up to date.
Okay.
Yeah, so
would I
enter
just
on
type-
that.
Would I just type git pull or do I
Yep.
put?
If you're on the main branch, which you should be, it should be good to go. Let's see. Okay, you've got some changes locally. Let's see what those are. Let me stop me. Whew, I'm winded. Okay. Okay, so if you do git status, we can see what kind of changes you have here. Okay, it looks like you're like you did an npm install or something. I would just stash that. Go ahead and do git stash.
Okay.
Yeah, and you could also do something like git reset hard head, but basically we're just gonna wipe out those changes because I don't think they're necessary. But what it's telling you above where it was like, gave you all that stuff when you tried to pull it, saying error, your local changes.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, I'm trying to follow it. Your local changes to the following files would be overwritten. So you want to check out and see, what are those changes? Do I still need those? And if you don't need them, just get rid of them. So we've done that. And now try and git pull. Awesome. So you can see here that a bunch of new changes have been pulled down. Those are all those green little plus signs. Like, look at all this new stuff. And some stuff was removed too. And those are those red minus signs. So now you can go ahead and create your new branch. And again, if you need to remember how to do this, you can go into the orientation document in your repo. But just for us to do it now, you can do git space checkout -b. Perfect. And another space. And then this is where you'll put your branch name. So whatever your initials are, Victoria, V,
Okay.
and then dash, I don't remember who your partner is, but if your partner could shout out their initials. Oh, AM dash. And what story were you on? The Firebase?
First one. Yeah.
Okay. So you could say connect to Firebase, or it really doesn't matter, just as long as it's a good description of what you're working on so that people can understand. Connect to Firebase, perfect. Enter. All right, switch to a new branch and then your branch name. So you've created a new branch and you've switched to it. So now we need to push it up. So you'll do git push. And oh, we need to set upstream. So
What are we push?
She created this branch, but right now the branch is only local. So only Victoria has the branch. What she can do now is push it up to GitHub so that you can pull it down. So what is the command? I can't think of it off the top of my head. Is it dash
So we're just-
U?
Dash U, space origin, and then space the, actually not main, the name of the branch you just created. So
Just
VA.
And so my little thing that I always do is I just do a git push, and then it gives you
And
the
it tells you
command,
the
and then I copy
command,
paste it.
Oh yeah, it totally does
I
that.
feel
You're
like
right.
70% of developers do that.
Yeah,
I
mine
do
is
all
just, I
kinds.
have the commands in my terminal. And so I just hit up. I'm like git push and then up, and it just pulls it down.
Nice. Okay, but this works. I could just press enter here.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, gotta
Oh
log in.
Lord, I hope it doesn't ask me.
Oh, no.
no. Okay, the shell doesn't let you copy paste. I'm gonna have to like do my whole token. That's gonna be like a minute at least. So
Okay,
what?
you might
no
want to
worries.
talk amongst yourselves.
You just
Oh,
need your password for GitHub here. So if you
No,
need to like
it
go
does
find
really. Because last time I did my
Yeah,
password, it said it needed a token. Yeah. See.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a thing
Dude,
that they implemented in August, I think, right?
Yeah, the
Alright.
thing to do at some point would be to add an SSH key. So that'll let you log in, like authenticate without a token or anything. But maybe while you're doing that, we can have the other pair create their branch and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
that.
Do you want them to
Fair
share
enough.
their
Stop
screen,
talking,
or should I keep
Yeah,
going?
yeah,
with
let
the
them, let them share the screen and then
All
we can
right.
have them go through the same process. This is the manager and me trying to parallelize work.
I can go.
Great.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
So we'll,
Okay.
first thing, we'll want to make sure that we're up to date, right?
Mhm.
Nice. Cool.
All right.
And then now we'll create the new branch, right? Nice.
Gabby, what's your initials? G.
N.
Oops.
Yeah, perfect.
And then is it all just like this, or is it like space? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'll do dashes, also called kebab case, like a
Got it.
shish kebab.
Oh, and my computer is freezing up a bit. Okay. So this one is add view, list view. Is that good?
Sure, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
And then
So now it's, yep.
Let me see if I can copy. Oh, how did?
Yeah. See there, we just get it, and we.
How do you?
just
Is there
copy
an
and
easy
paste
way to
that.
copy this? Just.
I think if you just highlight the whole thing and copy.
Got it.
And Command C. Yep. And then now enter. Cool. So now it's been
Alright.
added. And then Gabby, do you want to try to go and pull down and then
Okay.
switch to that branch?
Okay. Let me see. Can you make sense? Okay.
I got it up and running. Nice. Okay. Okay, so now we there were some untracked files, and so do a Git Stash.
Stash.
Yes, STASH, and Git Stash is just saying, I'm going to put these changes over here for now. If you want, you can get them back later. But yeah, so just do here. I'll type it in here. So it's Git Stash, like that.
Let me to see in the screen. Git Stash.
Yep, and enter.
Yeah.
Right, and so that
That's
just
what
put
we're
them somewhere. And if you ever wanted to get those changes back, you would do Git Stash pop, and then it brings them back. But we don't have to worry about that now. So now try a Git pull.
And again, Git pull.
Yeah.
Tabor. Okay. Working with the dependency and
So we've got that some IntelliJ file. Oh, it's because you're using IntelliJ. Interesting. And
the model is my job.
so those dot idea ones.
I don't know. I say which implement update I did before. I don't know what happened now. What can
Yeah,
I do?
I'm surprised that that the stash didn't do that. But we're coming up towards the end of things, so I'm gonna hang out here. But anyone who, because we don't want to take over more than our time, so anyone feel free to drop any point. But let's see. So I'm wondering, can you do Git status, I guess? Git status like this.
Get the shop. Idea.
Okay.
Idea.
And
Include,
yeah, it's surprising that Git, huh?
I add, give add for idea. Why? No.
Yeah, we don't want to add and commit that. So the how do you let's see, we should just, I guess, reset, which I don't do a lot.
Ignore, okay.
Yeah, actually that would be a good one to add to Git ignore. So go into your into that, see that .git ignore file.
Okay. Git ignore, ignore.
See the file in the top left.
The name.
You can see the file structure. So this isn't going to be a command that you'll put in the terminal. You're going to go into the actual file that's called .git ignore.
Git ignore, and file, no? Or I have to write file.
Just open up that file in your IntelliJ. So in the top left. See, yeah, and see the .git ignore file.
No.
Down.
Maybe?
It's right there. Down two more.
Public.
Down two more. Nope.
Public
Down. Nope. Close that.
No, there.
Down. Up. There it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the ones that says essentially like Git, we're not going to look at these. We're going to ignore these. So for this, just go and add in .idea in here onto that list.
Put later
idea, and then no question mark. And I think, yeah, that's good. Okay,
that's good.
Great. So now try to do a git pull, and you may have to commit this actually, but do git pull.
No.
Yeah. See the problem is because then we're gonna have to commit it, and we're on main. So I think maybe we'll do git reset.
Git.
Shajia, do you know your way around git reset?
I can Google real quick and see, but let's see.
So I think we'll do just try git reset -- hard.
You said --
hard.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
I think that one. Yep.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool.
Head is not update dependent with anything update.
Okay. So now try a git pull.
Git pull. Let's continue to say this. Error, the following instructor working tree file will be alright for merge.
Okay, so what we're gonna do a ls-a, so like this, ls-a.
Okay. Menu bar.
Uh,
LS, menu bar.
space
Ah,
to the
okay.
A. So this is listing all of the files, including the ones that start with dot. So see that
Okay.
dot idea? So now we're just gonna remove that. So we're gonna do
No.
to remove, we're gonna do an RM
And now I
dash
got Git.
RF dot idea. So like that.
To remove R F
Okay.
F idea. This?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So now do,
No idea there.
so now
okay.
it's not there. And then
Okay.
let's back in our git ignore. Let's also delete that one that we had, that line, a new line.
Okay.
Inside of there.
Okay.
Cool.
And now Git pull again?
Yeah, now let's try git pull. And let's all cross our fingers. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect.
So now we want to switch to the new branch, right?
And the new branch is okay. How do you know where is the new branch? We branch. I have to we branch there? No, because it's local. No, only my my local email.
Yeah, it exists, but it's not going to show it, unfortunately, when you do the git branch until you switch to it. So to do this, we do git checkout, and then the name of the branch.
And
if you're ever not sure, you could look in GitHub, but I think we can figure out what it was. And Aiden, what was it called? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, if you scroll up a little bit, you should see when you git pull. Shouldn't she able to see the branch?
Oh,
maybe not.
yeah. Actually,
if you scroll up a little bit, Gabby.
Sorry.
If you scroll up a little bit in your terminal.
Scroll. Yes.
Yes.
Git pull is the last sentence.
Okay, it's not there. It's okay. Never mind. I thought that it should be there. Anyway,
I look in the report. Don't worry. I look for in the report is
I can tell you. I can.
I thank you. Go ahead.
It's AT-GN
then _9 and
-add -view -list -view.
View that list.
Let me paste it in.
View last. Yeah. At TGN at view list view. Okay. Well, the branch. Hi there.
Hey.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Andrea, your I guess once your laptop is up and running, we can have it, right?
Yeah, so my laptop, you mean the one that yeah, that's a good point.
Well,
because now I have that branch here on, I was just following along with what Victoria was doing, and then
cool.
I went ahead and pushed it up before I realized, like, oh wait, I just stole her thunder. She was supposed to push the branch up anyway. So we do have that branch now.
Okay.
If she wants to, I guess, redo it so that she can see how to do it, then yeah, I'm answering a bunch of different questions. I'm not really sure how we're going to work together this week. I mean, I think she's going to have to, probably what would be the easiest is if we're pair programming, like I can see her screen, but she is the one to type everything in, unless I think there is a way where both people can type at the same time, but I don't know if I could access her terminal. per
So
se.
so
Yeah.
we have a thing about pair programming later, but usually one of the annoying things is there's so much information we want to give, but then we have like a presentation that's in like 2 weeks, something. But usually when you're pair programming, there's a navigator and a driver, and the navigator is usually looking and telling what, like, you know, giving advice on what you should be doing, and the
Okay.
driver is the one who's typing in. So it would be natural that only one person, you'd only be looking at one person's screen. So
Okay.
y'all can just get together and be sharing a screen, and it's totally viable to do that. What I would recommend is that figure out a time when you can get together to pair program.
Yeah.
And you can sit down and try to work through the issue, and then discuss, you know, if you don't get through everything there, you can figure out how to work independently, and then collaborate, whatever works for you all.
Yeah.
This is all your project, and so whatever works for you. And then we'll try to have it'll be creating a pull request, try to have it up, you know, towards the end of the week. And there's a like a pull request template that's in there, and when you create a pull request, it'll kind of walk you through how it goes. And you'll just see like new pull requests, and you can create that. You'll make a pull request into main, and then we'll, as the mentors, and especially Shajia, because this is her week for code reviews, we'll go through and give some kind of give some comments and stuff, and y'all can and are encouraged to give comments, and as we go through, you'll be doing more and more comments like that on the pull request. And then once it's all good, then we'll do the merging, everything.
Okay, so we're going to end up with 3 branches like this, because we had 3 bullet points. So that's a good way to split it into branches, right? Like each little bullet point is a separate branch because it's a separate like feature. And so then we're going to do 3 separate pull requests. So I think that part is true. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then I have a follow on to that.
Sure. Can I take this one, Mike?
Yeah, totally.
Sure. Because I've been a participant, so I understand where you are. So let me explain you how we did it, if it helps.
Yeah.
So the first week, I was paired with Ali, and what we did was we communicated on. So there are 3 tasks. You don't have to create 3 different branches for your task.
Okay.
That's how you and Victoria will communicate with each other. What we did was we met once a week with my partner, whichever my partner was for that week. And I don't know if we mentioned that or not, but every week you'll be paired with someone else. So if this week you're paired with Victoria, next week you are paired with, I have it somewhere. I can send you the link. You guys can see which week you're paired with which person. And so what I did, what our cohort did, that we met with that person on Zoom or Google Meets, whatever worked, and then we did it together. So as Mike was saying, that one is the navigator and one is the driver. So for example, if you decide to code that week, right? So Victoria can be like, okay, you know, let's, you can go on, like you can, for example, create a new file and you will create a new file. So she will be telling you how to do it or what to do it. It's not like she will tell you and you have to do it. It's more of like, you're gonna communicate it together. And I know right now it sounds like, you know, it's weird, but once you get into it, like once you get onto that call, or once you decide to do it on Slack, it could be either ways. So you have created your file, you have it locally, Victoria has it locally. Now both of you have to communicate, and it's same for Gabby and Aiden too, right? You all have to communicate and have to figure it out when to meet and how to figure it out which one is doing what. So for example, let's say if this week you are coding and she is, you know, being a navigator, next time you and Victoria pair, you could switch. You could be like, the first time I was coding, you were navigating, let me be the navigator this time, and she will code. So it balances out for, you know, everyone. So that is it. So you don't have to create 3 different branches. You created your branch. And then, for example, you made some changes, you're going to push it, and you will let her know that, you know, I made these changes and I pushed it. So she can pull it. And then if she wants to check it, or if she wants to add something else, she could do it. So I think that's one of the things about pair programming, right? That you have to communicate to the other person. That was something very new for me when I was a cohort. Even though I had been working as a developer for 2 years before, I never pair programmed in my professional life before. So that is something I learned at the Collab lab. So yeah, seems like you have a question.
Yeah. So you mentioned something interesting that, like, if I'm making changes and then I push it up, then she can pull it down and she can make changes. But I thought with the pair programming, like, we were designating one person to do the coding and the other person is kind of like the navigator each week, which is one model of pair programming. In the past, what I've done is, you know, both people have access to the same screen through the server. It's pretty cool. And then either person can insert code or both people. But anyway, if we're going to follow the other model, then shouldn't only one person be doing the coding?
So,
So
do you want to go ahead?
Oh, I was just gonna say, sometimes with the driver navigator, it can switch off like in the same session. So you may be saying, okay, I'm doing it. Okay, I did a commit, I'm gonna push it. Now you do it and you switch back and forth. So it could go either way. And if you don't like that, it's however you all find it the best to work. There is a live share in VS Code where you can both be doing it. So that's also a viable option, however you want to do.
So there's no one model that you have to follow. That was one example, right? So you could do a live share and do it together. So for example, in the issue that you are working on, I think they have 3 bullet points, right? So for example, you decide to do the first one, you push your changes, and then she can do the second one and the third one, right? So it just depends how you both, the people that working on that particular week decide to do it. There's no right and wrong way to do it as far as you're communicating with your partner and making sure that you both are doing it, if that makes sense. There's no, you will get the hang of it once you go. Like once the first week happens, all of you will understand things better, and you might have more questions, and that is completely okay. We are here for you. Just give us a message in Slack, and then we'll help you figure it out.
So can I ask another question, or I know we're like running really late. So I also on my end saw that there were changes to the package lock JSON. I'm not sure why. I guess it just updated itself after, I don't know. But that's not something I changed. I don't think it's something Victoria changed. But so far we've just stashed the changes. We want those changes though, right? Do we, now that we, you know, pulled it down, got the branch and everything, do we want to do git stash pop?
So the package lock is essentially says, like, you know how you have all the dependencies in the package JSON, and those say a version, and each of those dependencies like has a bunch of dependencies which adds a bunch of dependencies, and there's like, that's why the package lock is so giant, because it says all of the dependencies all the time. And so in the open source world or anywhere, there are dependencies that get updated. And so periodically when you do an install, it'll make changes in the package lock. And so those changes are a result of someone having just done an install. And ultimately, yeah, we'll probably, we'll want to commit them. But when you do the next install, you'll get those changes if they're the most recent. So I think rather than unstashing or like popping the stash, you can just run a new install. And then when you commit, just commit those package lock changes as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's not a problem to commit the package lock. I thought we were somehow trying to avoid doing that. Okay, good.
No, no. Yeah, that's fine. And if we didn't want to commit anything, it would be in the git ignore. Those are the things. If we were saying,
right,
whatever you do, do not update the package lock, we would add that to the git
Okay.
ignore, right? And one thing, Gabby, I noticed that you're using IntelliJ or possibly WebStorm.
Webstorm.
The
I use the
WebStorm, okay. You may want to look into VS Code. That's also a some people really like WebStorm, but I'm not sure what everyone's using. But you just take a look and see if you like VS Code. And if you want to stay with WebStorm, be sure to add that git ignore idea to it, so that you're not committing the that idea in there. And
Okay,
as
never
Andrea
mind.
said, VS Code is awesome. Most React developers use VS Code.
Okay.
And as we're doing a React project, it may be useful to try working with it.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Well,
And I have
yeah.
I have another question.
yeah.
Does
yeah.
anybody else have
And-
questions? I don't want to hog this whole time.
No,
No
go ahead,
worries.
that's okay.
So we created a branch. We're going to push up the branch, do a pull request. At some point, that pull request will be approved and merged in.
Mhm.
And then we delete our branch, right? We would delete our branch locally and on the GitHub repo.
Usually that's best practice, but it's not a very big, like usually you delete the branches if you're working in a giant project where there's going to be like 1 million branches, but in our project we're not going to have that many, so it's not a super big deal, but you can delete them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to the extent possible, working with what other people are comfortable with, follow like what would be best practices. So, because I assume that this repo will be available for potential employers to see and to see what comments we made and what, just kind of get a sense of what we did or didn't do or chose not to do. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. And I think when you do the pull request, there may be a box that you can check that says like delete branch when on merge. So I'm not sure if GitHub has that, but you can take a look, and then if not, you can just do a git branch -d and delete it. Yeah, with the uppercase D, I think deletes it in the remote. Yeah.
I think you can use lowercase d, but then if for some reason and that totally has worked for me. But if there are, see, I am still a beginner with Git, but if there are changes that are there maybe on main that aren't in that branch, or they're on that branch that aren't on main, then it'll say, nope, not doing it. But if you really want to force it, then you use the uppercase D. Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think that's how I remember it too.
Yeah, so industry secret is that everyone's a beginner on Git. And I've worked with developers who are like 40 years of experience who are still Google Git stuff. So yeah, totally. Okay, any other questions? Maybe?
I would just like to say that this week I have office hours for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I know Victoria is not here, but I think the essential office hours is basically every week one of the vendors is going to hold an office hour. We can decide on the time, but I do realize that we might or might not be available. It's an optional thing. So for example, if anybody is stuck and if anybody has any questions they want to speak with a mentor, or even if it's just about a Collab lab in general, if they have other questions, they want to talk to a mentor. We usually have an hour booked for an office hour where you can just meet up and then we can talk. It could be either again on Zoom, on Google Meets, on Slack, whatever, and we'll be able to answer your questions. So I will be holding that this week. So that's my opinion, that it would be nice to have something by Wednesday and Thursday, just so that you will have time to work on your issues Monday, Tuesday. So if you have any questions by Wednesday, and that is the mid of the week, so if you have any questions, we can hop on a call and talk about it. If you prefer that we do it over Slack, we can do a message. So let me know what timings work for you. Again, I understand that life happens and, I might not be available that particular time. So if you, for example, Thursday, you are stuck at something and you want to talk to me, just send me a Slack message and be like, hey, I'm stuck on this one, or message in the group, whatever works. And then, we can meet and then go from there. So this week it's my turn to hold office hours. So, if you guys want any help with anything, just send me a message.
So when you say office hours, are you saying there's going to be a set time that you're available for people to join in and talk with, but you're waiting to get our availability first, or?
So I can send my availability, like I can on the Slack, I can send few times that I'm available and we can pick one. But I do yeah, we could do it that way. And then, if somebody wants to talk, we can meet on Zoom. So I don't think I will be on Zoom waiting for somebody. Is that right, Mike? It will be more like I will be free during that time, and if anybody wants to hop on a call, we could do it. But again, as I said, sometimes you're not available in that office hour time zone, and you still want to talk to a mentor. So you could just Slack me, and then we can find another time to meet. But I will send some availability over the Slack, and then we can figure it out which one works for all of us. But then again, that would be just for my time. It might not work for Mike and Eddie. So every week might be a bit different office hours. We have to figure it out.
She'll send out like a poll and then can say what time works, and then that'll be the time. All right, cool. I think we've gone a little bit over, so we'll probably wrap this one up if that's okay. And then if you have additional questions, we have that Slack group. Ask lots of questions in there, and yeah, we'll see y'all in Slack. Okay.
All right.
Cool. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Great
you.
job. Bye.
Aidan, let's talk with you. Bye.